revolution. And what is the basis, or what is the key characteristic of that number 4 industrial revolution? It is something called mass personalization. As they say, whoever goes to the house of the in-laws to speak big grammar will also have to interpret it by himself. So I'll have to break it. What do you mean by mass personalization? Let me give you an example. How many people here, and I would like to see a show of hands, have used either Amazon or Google, Amazon, Jumia, any of these shopping platforms? How many people? So pretty much everybody. Okay. Guess what? You go on now, you look at things, you may not even buy. But when you come back, they present you with a list of other things that your previous history tells them you looked at and you may be interested in. I hope you understand that. In other words, the extent to which you know your customers becomes absolutely imperative. I sat with a group of teachers about 3 weeks ago, and I was saying to them that, see, the days when you delivered lectures, a generic, and expected all children to understand it, are going. You're going to have to start delivering lectures tailored to each child in your class. I'm not sure if you understand what I'm saying. Deliver learning to each child to ensure they understand. And in case you're wondering, how's this going to happen? It's very simple. It's technology. Technology means you are now able to customize, to personalize, and will have to do so if you are going to deliver value. And so, a couple of things are therefore already clear to me as far as, so we are looking at next year and we are wondering what's going to happen. The economy is growing. I should also tell you this, by the way. The economy is growing. It may be slow, but one thing you should also quickly bear in mind, the monies that are being made are going into some pockets, households, families. But please note this. Income is concentrating upwards. Those who are rich are getting richer. By the way, I'm not here to say that is good or bad. This session is not about inclusion. It's about business. All I'm telling you is that those who can afford to pay for what you are offering are out there. Key question is, can you find them? Can you articulate a value that brings them to you and keeps them with you? Please understand that. Can you articulate a value that brings them to you so it's attractive, but also to make it sustainable, keeps them with you? And I've already told you how personalization is now at the heart of what's going to have to happen. I've already identified to you where people are spending their money. And I've already said to you what you need to be able to do, what's your experience, what's your knowledge, what's your capacity. So all of that begins to help you chart new directions if you must. But all this kind of investing is not for everybody. Some people risk averse, and that's just their nature. That's how life is. I'm also asking, okay, so if I don't manufacture, don't trade, what do I do? One of the things that is pretty clear, and it's in this kind of respect that I feel for Dr. Adedutan and his team, interest rates are going up. Government treasury bills will yield higher returns next year. Therefore, it's not a bad idea if you're risk averse to think about a portfolio of investments. In case you're wondering, can't we go to the stock market? He who dares wins, but he who dares may also lose badly. Let me give you the stock exchange story. It's a very simple story. If you look at the overall numbers, it says the market has gone down about 15% this year so far, and we think it will go further down. But I have a friend who built a portfolio of equity, of investment, which has increased by 48% in value this year. Now, that is based on knowledge, real serious knowledge. But it is not beyond you or anyone else to, you may not have the knowledge, but you certainly can find that knowledge. You can find the people who are knowledgeable and who can advise you. Because one of the things I tell people is this. When I was speaking about trading, manufacturing, I did say, what's your experience? I did say, what's your knowledge? In some areas, we don't expect you to be knowledgeable, but we expect you to be willing to find those who really are knowledgeable. One thing is very clear, and this is the Ijebu boy speaking. You do not make money without spending money. You must understand that. Oh, they think the Ijebus only is for inflow, that they don't do outflow. They do strategic outflow. That as long as the inflow exceeds significantly, not small, significantly exceeds the outflow, then it's a profitable investment. One final thing before I have to sit down. I've been told to speak to you for about 15 minutes and then we'll do Q&A. Please note the following. Many people run businesses that are inherently profitable but that fail. Yeah, you're probably thinking to yourself, that's not my portion. All right. Whether it's your portion or it's not your portion, sorry, again, it's about knowledge. And there are 3 things I will put on your table as far as running your business so you can identify opportunity. I have suggested some of the things to look out for. But in running your business, please note the following. Increasingly, 2 things are showing themselves to be extremely important. The first is profitability. I said to you just a short while ago, yes, Ijebu boy, we do spend money, but as long as the inflows we generate exceeds our outflows, significantly exceeds our outflows. If you are going to be profitable, that's the basic condition. But you've got to be able to manage your costs, because one of the things I've been telling friends over the last 3-6 months is that companies are now finding that their costs are rising faster than they can pass it to their customers. And therefore, if you are unable to manage your costs tightly, everybody, we call it down trading, people are looking for better value. So it's absolutely important that cost management towards profitability, so to achieve and sustain profitability. But guess what is the biggest killer of companies these days? It is actually illiquidity. You're selling, but it's what they call overtrading. Oh yes, business is coming in, but at every time you're looking, where's the profit? Where's the profit? We are illiquid. There are a number of things you need to be mindful of. Do you know what your cash cycle is? In other words, that period between when you sell and when you get all of your money. Listen to that part, all of your money. Because too many people are selling, getting part of their money, then the people are paying small. And by the end of the day, sorry, the thing's being salted away. So your ability to be liquid, especially, remember I told you interest rates are going to go up. So if you're going to borrow money, then you're going to pay higher costs for it. So liquidity in my book is extremely very important. And then the final issue. Too many businesses fail because we price wrongly. Too many businesses fail because you price wrongly. And by the way, the moment you start pricing wrongly is the moment your capital begins to erode. What do I mean by that? See, if you buy something, let me use a trading example. If you buy something and you sell it, and by the time you go back, you cannot buy it again, then you have priced wrongly. And many of us have no clear sense of our costs, a complete profile of your cost. So the house or the premises from which you're doing business is your own. Okay, that's fine. But what of the rent? It's an opportunity cost. Sometimes we tend to think, oh, if we put all of them together, the price will be too high. Sorry, you're selling to the wrong people. I hope you understand that. You are selling, once the price is too high, then it's in the wrong market. I told you, what's the value proposition? If the value proposition is good enough, then it's valuable enough. So, ladies and gentlemen, what have I told you this morning? Very simple. A couple of things. First, yes, the economy is growing. Yes, there are issues with inflation. Yes, interest rates are going to rise. But my view is, I am enormously optimistic about where we are. Yes, I didn't forget to tell you there's an election coming. But as far as I'm concerned, sorry, there's an election coming, the election will go. We hope we don't fight in the aftermath of the elections. As long as we don't fight, whoever wins will manage them. It really doesn't matter. If you are looking for what to do, you ask yourself, what's your own experience? What do you know? Either you've been trading something on behalf of somebody, you now want to set up your own. What's your experience? What's your exposure? Don't, as my people say, use another person's clock to run. Because what that means, the Yoruba say, is a very simple thing. If you do not understand the business model, you cannot succeed. So you must understand. So knowledge is at the heart of all of this. And then I said, if you want to invest, what should you look for? And look for where the biggest amount of activity is going on. Either it is the fastest growing sector in the economy or it is the biggest. But always ask yourself, where are people spending their money? On what are they spending their money? One of the things that I will do for you, the presentation I will send back to have distributed to anybody who wants it, will put a list of how people are spending their money. You can go and take a look at it for yourself. How are they spending their money? I also told you that technology is increasingly important. But I spoke about technology on one basis, so understand it. That it's about how well, how detailed is your knowledge of your customer. Which is where I drew in that whole thing about, that big grammar, mass personalization. So you too, when you go out now, you'll be telling people anyhow, you have to be doing mass personalization. Anything they tell you today, the answer is mass personalization. Believe me, it's okay. At least before they figure out the answer, you've moved on. But at the heart of that concept is granular understanding of who your customers are, what they want, why they want it, and therefore why they will stay with you. But beyond all of that, I did tell you, if you're not cut out for any of these trading, manufacturing, there are opportunities in financial markets. You can. After all, I can't be standing at a First Bank event and not say that you can put money in a First Gems account at First Bank. That would be very unfair. By the way, Ogashala, we have to talk after. But truly, there are opportunities in the fields of finance. Deposit accounts to be built, but it's always better. You must know yourself. If you are risk averse, government instruments are probably the safest. If you are likely and you are interested in taking some risk, then equities would also be something to bear in mind, even though I'm one of those who takes the view that between now and the end of the year, there's nothing in equities. But after the election next year, if we come out of it safely, securely, I think the stock market will start to rise on its own. And then I did say to you, no matter what you want to do, be sure you can run it. And that for me is not about activity and sales. That's important. But profitability is massively important. If it's not profitable, it cannot sustain. Please understand that. And when I say profitability, it's not the one where the cost of the building, because it's your own house, is excluded. Then it's still not profitable. You are subsidizing. And the moment you start to be afraid in a market that you are that your prices are too high, then you should ask only two questions. One, am I being cost efficient? If I am, then question number two, am I serving the right people? A friend and I were just playing around the other day. So we went into a shop somewhere outside Nigeria. He needed a suit. And he said, no, he just needed a suit for one day, for one meeting, so any suit will do. Went into a shop, I think it was about $50 or $60, bought the suit and he was happy. But as we were going, we saw another shop. And the cheapest suit in there was about $2,000. And I said to him, guy, this suit will suit you. And he looked at me and said, did I think he looked like somebody who could afford a $2,000? So I said, my brother, aspiration is important. But by the way, you don't sell on aspiration. You sell on what people actually have. It's important. So ladies and gentlemen, my view, very simple. 2019, a bit bumpy, but it should be fun all the way. I wish you happy profit making. Thank you.